Welcome to the PowerUp podcast. This is your host Nathan Shields, aka Osiren. You can catch us at www.powerupfighters.com. Make sure you subscribe via RSS and to this podcast via iTunes. Today I have two guests, Actionhank and Murderbydeath, who both went to the MWC championships in, was it Indiana, guys?
It was Chicago.
Illinois,
Chicago.
Okay. Well, whatever, one of those I states, but it was a great time, and I'm hoping to get some details out of them, and later on we'll be talking to Jordan, who's Murderbydeath, about details with HD Remix, strategies, setups, all kinds of things. So go ahead, just say hi, guys.
Hello.
Howdy.
Again.
Alright, well, let's go ahead and get started then. So how was the trip to MWC?
Stressful.
Yeah?
Long.
Yeah. It was about a 7-hour car ride. We got through about halfway through Indiana, and it was fine, like smooth sailing. Then all of a sudden, we entered a traffic jam that we did not get out of for another hour. There was a semi truck that was stalled on the side of the highway, like blocking a lane. So it like all the cars behind it had to merge. This probably happened like a long time ago.
What kind of truck was it?
It was a huge, big rig. So
I was like, oh, okay. So
yeah.
It wasn't like a Doritos truck.
No, I don't know.
The confusing part was that it wasn't taking up the whole lane.
It wasn't either.
It was just like sitting there.
I don't know what the delay was, but yeah, we probably sat in traffic for about an hour just waiting on that. Then then we got to Chicago traffic, which is like another hour, and you move like bumper to bumper the whole time basically, and there was a bunch of toll roads. So getting there. Getting back, everybody always says the trip back is faster, you know,
Yeah.
and it did feel a little faster, but getting there, yeah, it took a while. It took about an hour longer than I expected, but it's cool, you know, we didn't almost die at any point, so I was happy with that, so.
Well, who else went with you guys?
Josiah and Quan, Daddy Neptune, and Tech That Shit.
Right.
Yeah, that's it.
You guys all carpooled in the same car?
Yeah, it was.
Must have been fun.
It was fun.
If that's what you want to call it.
It was fun. It just kind of got annoying after a while, just having to be in the same dwelling place with 3 other people for multiple hours at a time, especially during the traffic jam when it's hot out and it's raining at the same time.
Oh, no.
Tempers start to flare, so luckily we got to the hotel in enough time. And
I seem to remember going on a rant about traffic.
Yeah, Jordan went on an hour-long rant about how he hates traffic, and I don't think Jordan wants to drive anytime soon. So.
Soon it'll be all iRobot with electronic cars.
That would be awesome.
That
if
would
a car
be.
could drive my ass someplace, that'd be epic.
So hopefully real life won't be as terrible as that movie was.
Yeah, hopefully. I don't know. I was surprised for one when Will Smith was like, "Oh, roof block with the."
He's got the robot arms.
Yeah.
Took a piss all over Isaac Asimov's work though.
Well, that's true.
It's whatever.
Well, when you guys got to the hotel, how was that? Was it pretty smooth getting everything checked in?
We went to the hotel.
Did you guys get there
It was relatively
like day
smooth.
before tournament?
Yeah, Thursday night.
Mm-hmm. Thursday night.
It was relatively smooth until like the next night. Casuals, like the manager of the hotel came to like every single room that players were playing games in, and there were noise complaints. Like,
oh, so there were a lot of
We
players
got
in
noise
your guys'
complaints.
Yeah,
hotel.
it was
not our room in specific. Like actually, I think
in
it was the room behind
the same
underneath
hotel.
us.
Everyone stays at the Red Roof, I guess, when there's a tournament at Nickel City because it's
it's
right across
5
the street.
minutes. You could walk to the venue. from
Yeah, I was
there.
thinking of
It's right across the
reserving
street.
Red Roof for seasons meetings.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Do it.
That's the way to go.
That's the way to go.
But this guy came around to every room that I was in at the entire duration of the time we were there. Like, I don't know who was complaining about noise, considering it was a hotel full of fighting game players.
Yeah, it was like there
And
was
then the one grandmother
theory-
and her young
there was probably like
grandson.
one person.
One
literally.
theory is that it was Justin Wong just being a dick. You never know.
You never know. But yeah, we got a noise complaint the first night. We had we met up with a couple of Detroit players, Russ Steezy and his like crew of SF4 and CBS2 heads, and
Guy looks like Bobby Lee.
he looks like Bobby Lee from Mad
from
TV.
Mad TV.
But he's a really cool guy. He talks a lot of shit, but he's funny. And we played in our hotel room like some Third Strike, and then we got a noise complaint, so we just had to shut it down
I think
after
we
a while.
played more HDR.
We played a little more HDR, but
Did you guys just have like one TV that was?
We had two TVs. We
I brought one.
Okay, there you go.
yeah, I brought a TV and we used the hotel's TV.
Nice.
But yeah, other than that, like The next night was the cops showed up, but that wasn't our hotel room. That was the downstairs hotel room, and that was out of control, but funny. So,
like out of control fighting game players, or were
yeah,
there,
out
like,
of control
crack
fighting. It was
addicts?
just like being loud, and
okay.
and Antoine Ortiz was in the building, and he was beating a lot of people with Blanca, and so there was lots of noise.
There's lots of Mexicans drinking. So
Yeah.
lots of SNK players.
So that was Thursday night or Friday?
Yeah, that was Friday night, actually.
That was Friday night, yeah.
Thursday night we went to the venue and just tried to get adjusted to the Third Strike machine. Just playing in arcade. Arcade's different. It's totally different.
What was the venue like?
It's pretty good. It's a little bit bigger than Arcade Legends.
Actually, I would say the back room where they held the tournament.
Was it an actual arcade?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a really nice arcade.
Yeah.
They have a lot of games. I would say the back room where they held the tournament is actually about the size of Arcade Legends.
Mm-hmm.
But the front room is really cramped because there's lots of games. But the back room is really
the
nice.
more the better.
Yeah.
The back room is really nice for tournaments.
It's literally called Nickel City because all the games run off of Nickels, and
they're on 555 Waukegan Drive.
Yeah, yeah, it's Nickel City running on 555 Waukegan. Like,
nice.
I found that ironic.
Yeah, and they've got some games in the back too that are on free play. Like a lot of old fighting games that are kind of fun, like Project Justice, and I was playing that a lot because it was free. So, and they had like Second Impact and stuff like that. I mean, the sticks they're all like HAP competition sticks, which I don't really like, but. It's whatever. Games are free, and they also had Tekken 6, which was fun because we got to play it ahead of time.
Cool.
It was kind of cool. So the game looks nice.
So when you guys actually got to tournament day, so it was Third Strike on arcade tournament?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And here's it was kind of annoying because
Third Strike, Marvel, and ST were all on arcade.
Okay.
Yeah. And we got adjusted to the speed, it's a little slower, it's better though. Third Strike on arcade is far better. Like if you're gonna play Third Strike,
just
play
with
on
the
arcade.
speed, or is there anything else different?
It's like links are slower but easier to do, I guess.
Okay,
like
I gotcha.
you can, it's kind of hard to do like Yuri and tackle combos in the corner on PS2 because of the timing has to be it's very strict because it's very quick. But on arcade, it's not as fast, so you get more like Chun-Li's super. You see it all day on it, whereas PS2, you have to really, really be looking for it.
I saw Chun-Li Super all day long during the Devastation Third Strike finals.
Yeah, well, even that's pro players though. They've got reaction time. Like I got to play Justin Wong in casuals actually on Friday. He showed up a little early before the tournaments, and he sat down on the arcade machine. We were just lining up to play him because you don't get to play Justin Wong every day. So I mean, he destroyed us. I was the only one that didn't get double perfected out of a string of people. So I survived.
Congratulations!
Yeah, I know it was, but it was clearly we were not playing the same game. Like his spacing's perfect, his reaction time is very good, and he's just looking for you to do specific things. And when you throw him a bone, it's over usually. Usually one knockdown just about ends the game.
Wow.
But yeah, it was a great learning
Would he just
experience.
be all over you at that point?
No, he walks in and out of ranges that you have. Like if your character, like Chun-Li for example, he walked in and out of my standing fierce and low forward range repeatedly. He was just playing Ken the whole time too. He wasn't using Chun. And he would just walk in and out of that range and just kind of wait to get me knocked down or parried or something like that. So it's very, very good to play him though. Cause,
I bet.
Yeah, you learn that you are not playing the same game.
It's an ego checker.
Yeah.
So it was not necessarily a huge venue, but like double the size of Arcade Legends?
Yeah,
overall?
About, yeah.
Cool.
They had a bunch of ticket prize games for the little kids in the front, and then it's kind of like a wall of arcade machines. They had a couple good rhythm games too that you don't see too often, like Beat Mania and stuff like that. So while if you didn't want to play fighting games, there was other things for you to do there.
Nice.
So.
And what about you, Jordan? How was your casuals experience?
Casuals, Friday night, I was in a room with Wes Trulson, Jesse Howard, NKI, and Dom Dai. All four of them are legends in the ST community.
Okay.
So I didn't do very well. I got destroyed quite a bit. I think I took one game from NKI, his Ryu, not even one of his mains or anything. But I mean, I learned a lot. That's the main thing.
What did you learn in particular that has stuck with you?
Specifically,
yeah.
One is never let your ego get in the way of anything, because
it's a good lesson.
You're probably not as good as you think you are.
Yeah.
I've learned that already many times.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's just it's like a slow process. Like if you can beat everybody in your, you wouldn't think it would happen. So many players talk about it, but if you start to beat everybody in your local area or something,
you start to get ahead.
You do.
You get a big head,
but no.
And then it gets quickly popped when you go to a national tournament.
Yeah.
And you realize there's a long way to go.
So yeah, specifics.
Specifically,
Anything that you can think of?
Like gameplay-wise? Or
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
I learned more about the meta game. You know, a lot of mind games and stuff like that.
Anything that they kept getting you with, you kept falling for?
It's hard to explain because in ST, it's like 99% mind games. I think.
Oh, you guys were playing just ST, not HD Remix.
Oh, we were playing HDR.
Oh, okay.
They're not the same game, but
Right.
I refer to them as the same sometimes.
Okay.
But we did play some ST casuals at the venue, and Dom Die pretty much ran the machine all day. Specifically, spacing is very important. I was already aware of this, but it's a lot more strict than I thought it was. Pros know where they can tag you with things that are going to potentially end a round. Like NKI mains Dictator in HD Remix. And if you're in his jumping roundhouse range, he's aware of it. And if you make one mistake, throw a fireball at the wrong time, he's jumping over that, you're going to get touch of death, like instantly. So you have to be very careful spacing. But it's also, that's where the mind game element comes in, is he will trick you into throwing a fireball. Whether you realize it or not, you're going to throw a fireball. I mean, if you're just an intermediate player like me, you don't know how to defend against those mind games. You don't know these. I mean, eventually you learn. And that's what I learned. Was that
were you able to pick up maybe
later
on?
You can pick up, slowly start to begin to understand what they're doing.
So
why
20-year mountain though that you got to climb. It's just time.
ST is I think like 14 years old, maybe
14.
older. 14, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's quite a mountain, but the mind game aspect is what amazed me the most. Is because my execution's not bad. It's pretty good. I don't drop a whole lot of combos. I do in casuals, but not in tournament play. I do better under pressure, I guess.
I think everybody wishes they did.
Yeah.
I feel like I do better under pressure too.
Cool.
I don't know.
It's like going Super Saiyan though.
Yeah.
Like afterwards you're exhausted.
Yeah.
I want to eat like a whole table full of food now.
I just want to take a nap
Yeah, I
or
just wanna
go
sleep.
outside and smoke a cigarette.
That's why I did really bad in HDR. I mean, even though there were more people and thus more scrubs, and my bracket was actually really easy. I was like falling asleep during matches because ST was earlier that day, and by the time like the hour that between the tournaments, I was like, ugh.
Yeah, it's mentally exhausting.
The exhaustion hit me.
We didn't get much sleep.
I got like an hour of sleep the night before.
That doesn't help.
Yeah, sharing a hotel room usually, unless the people are also like. I mean, I was wired because my sleep schedule, like, in the summer is usually reversed. Like, I go to bed in the morning and wake up at night. So, that's just how it goes. But I got, like, 3 hours of sleep or so. I don't know. I was okay, but the next day I felt like I performed better because I just felt better. So, also eating helps. Like, I didn't eat all day on Saturday. So, once the Street Fighter 4 tournament went over, I immediately got some food. And I felt better. Yeah, I would recommend eating something, like, small, not necessarily, like, a big meal, but just something. Like,
yeah, something light.
Yeah, because you need it.
Something like that.
You'll need it.
Cool.
Also, it seems obvious, but, well, where's I going with this? It seems obvious, but... Oh, like, top players adapt so quickly to what you're doing. Like... Dom Die, for example, he was playing Ken in ST. This is actually on ST on the cab.
Okay.
And every beginning of every match, he noticed I was throwing fierce max outs at the beginning of the round because that's one of DJ's safer options. However, he started doing jumping forward immediately at the beginning of the round. So when I finally picked up that he was going to do it every single time, I started doing up kicks. And as soon as he realized I was going to do up kicks before I did them, and he didn't jump in. He just knew I was going to do up kicks that time. Dragon punched me immediately. I was like, wow. Just wow. How does he know, But that's one of the other things is you have to adapt really quickly, have really good spacing, and know the mind games. You have to know what they're trying to get you to do, why they're trying to get you to do it, and when you should actually do what they're trying to get you to do. Because they're going to expect you to do it, and when you don't do it, maybe they won't expect you to do it. I don't know. It's a huge mind game. It really is. You have to think about everything you do, and you only have split seconds to think about it. It can be really hard. I mean,
fighting games,
especially against top players.
It's really fast speed chess.
Oh yeah.
Especially ST. It's like the fastest fighting game aside from Marvel.
Definitely.
Yeah.
The HDR finals at Devastation, they were over like that.
Yeah.
The Tatsunoko
Oh
finals
yeah.
took
If you watch the Evo DVDs, you've got great matches on there, but the majority of them are over with so fast. It's like 13-second matches sometimes. It's pretty quick.
Especially when Balrog's involved.
Yeah, if Balrog's involved, it's usually 13 seconds.
So how was the general hype? How many people were there for a lot of the games?
The turnout was not as good as you would expect for a major. It was only...
I disagree for ST.
For ST, it was good. For HD Remix, it was pretty good. But for Street Fighter 4, it was kind of crappy.
Street Fighter 2 is experiencing a revival.
How many people are we looking at?
I was thinking like at least 100. You know, it's a major in the Midwest.
I think it was like 88 or something.
It was like 85, I think, like an estimate, you know. Like, I think it was about 85.
I think there's a thread on SRK that says how many exactly.
It's got the results.
Yeah.
Aftermath.
And Justin didn't even play in the SF4 tournament, and neither did Flo.
Why
yeah,
not?
Because they wanted to. I think they wanted to hand it to Marn for some reason. I mean,
I
really.
I think Marn and Justin are teaming at SBO, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. I mean, okay, really, Justin's money is Marn's money. I mean, they're on the same like.
Marn's his girlfriend.
Empire Arcadia.
Marn's his girlfriend. They're on Empire Arcadia, so you figure like. One of them wins, they get the money. Like, I don't know. And Justin won a bunch of, like, side tournaments. Like, he got his money. Like, he got his money. So, yeah, I think he just... I mean, he entered an SF4, like, 2-on-2 tournament that was kind of spontaneous.
Oh, okay.
But we don't really... It was, like, a side tournament. It wasn't, like, a serious thing. But, yeah. The turnout, I wish was better. The hype was good. I mean, there's, you know... It kind of died. I guess Marn's considered, like, a villain in the community. I think just people wanted Antoine to win. But you'll watch the finals on YouTube and, like... Nobody's cheering when Marn wins. Like, no, the crowd's just, like, dead quiet, and, like, you know...
Why do you think that is?
I guess people just don't like Marn. I don't know. I mean, I don't mind the guy, but...
What happened? Didn't you, at least take a round off
I
him?
beat him.
You beat him?
Yeah, I'd send him to losers.
How'd that feel?
Very good.
Yeah, I bet.
You know,
what was the match?
Rufus, then Rufus Ballard.
Oh, okay.
I beat his Rufus 2-1. I could just... that's the mirror match with Rufus, though. It's just completely up in the air because of EX Messiah Kick. Like, that match goes constant 50-50s because, I mean, literally, we did a Messiah... I hope the tapes come... Like, the video on YouTube, like, comes out soon of our match because I just want to, like, see it and analyze what I did, you know? And I know at one point we Messiah Kicked at, like, almost the exact same time and his beat mine. And I was just like, EX Messiah Kick beats EX Messiah Kick. That's how good EX Messiah Kick is. So, but yeah, it was just like, all that matchup is really just landing your damage appropriately, not letting one person, like, dominate the flow of the match. Like, you make sure you get knockdowns on Rufus a lot versus Rufus. Like, you want to keep him away. And you don't want to keep him away, but you want to keep him on the defensive from you. You don't want to go on the defensive. And then, when you finally do get your knockdown, it's time to pressure. And then it becomes a race to Ultra at about half-life. You want to basically hit your Ultra as soon as humanly possible. So... And then I did, you know, I caught an EX Messiah Kick, FADC into Ultra in the corner on him.
Nice. Crowd pleaser.
Yeah, and then I caught a backdash too, which looks even more fancy, even though it's not that fancy. It's very easy to do. And then I just did like a dive kick, low short, tornado, you know, like very simple, but it caught him. And I noticed like every time it caught him, he'd like lean back, like, what the heck? I just got hit by that. Like, and then I played his Balrog, and his Balrog, I mean, it's good. It's very flashy because he can do EX rush loops pretty well. But if there's like one match I just constantly play, it's Balrog. Like between Lee and I have a friend online who I play like every night in SF4. That's all he picks. So I am so used to like what Balrog can do versus Rufus, and you really got to Crouching Fierce a lot. That straight up punch, like as my friend says, Crouching Fierce will block out the sun. Like the 300 quote, it will, because it stops so much of Rufus's air momentum, and he just wasn't tagging me with it. Like he was just letting me get in his face, and I'm like, all right, so just let me take it, I guess. You know, I don't know. I don't know if he just didn't take me seriously enough, or you know.
Did he end up winning?
Yeah, he ended up winning the whole tournament. So he beat a lot of people. He beat Antoine. He beat Rexor. He beat Humbag. So.
I don't know. What happened to you? What
I lost to Damdai, who plays Zangief, and I actually talked to Mart about that matchup before the tournament, and he said that is Rufus's worst matchup because good Geefs will know that if Rufus ever dive kicks, and you can never dive kick against Geef for this reason, he can backdash and spinning pile driver your dive kicks. Like, all he has to do is react, backdash, spinning pile driver, and it's free every single time. Yeah. So you can't dive kick. That eliminates one of your best options for Rufus of getting in.
Right.
So it's really hard just to keep him out. Like, his lariat beats so many of your pokes. You have to be at a specific range, which he can grab you out of. So it becomes like constant 50-50s that are not in your favor. So, you know, I got worked. Damdai beat me pretty good. And I tried to counter pick Honda, and I really just need to, like, stick to my Blanca now. Like, I keep trying to find a counterpick character, but you know what? I think Blanca is, like, gonna be my go-to alt, because he beats all of the matchups I have trouble with.
There you go.
And then I lost to Saber, who plays Sakura. And Saber's like an STOG. Like, he's been around for years and years and years. And Sakura's not as bad as I thought. Like, I played a couple good console character players, and she's not that bad at all. She can stun you very quickly, and Rufus has low stun, so...
I also lost to Saber in ST, so
yeah.
it's no big deal.
Yeah, he's a good player, you know. He lives out in Arizona, and hopefully if I go out there to visit my grandparents, I'll meet up with him. So.
It was down to the wire, though. I don't know how your match went with him.
No, he worked me. So I never seen Sakura before, you know.
That was the match where I got my
you got your applause?
My crowd reaction.
Yeah. He landed did you land a dizzy combo on him? Or?
Yeah, I landed a DJ cross-up dizzy combo.
There you go.
To win the round.
Yep. It's a crowd pleaser.
Well, before we move on to Jordan and some of his matches and details, I want to get your opinion, Adam, on Street Fighter 4. What you've been thinking about it overall now. That
I like it better. I like it a little better. Yeah, I think it's just online play. Like, I banned myself from championship mode. Like, that is the worst. If you are trying to get better at Street Fighter 4, find people that are good online and play them constantly. Like, don't run into championship mode. I don't know what it is. It's just there's tactics online that do not work, you know. It's just so weird, you know, like going offline to play Street Fighter 4 and you just see all these things that, you know, why is that working? You know, I always beat that online. Or it's really just lag ruins that game. Like, it really does, because there's a lot of the links and stuff like that. A lot of more players use links. I recommend double tapping, like, everything. It's really good. Like, I noticed a lot of players doing it. Once you get the double tap rhythm down for, like, every link, they come out almost perfect. So, in fact, I prefer not to P-link it, but just to double tap it now. Rufus is standing short into standing fierce into tornado. That is, like, a good block string for him. And I double tap it, I don't P-link it, and it comes out better for some reason. I don't know why, it's just, it's preference, so... But it was much more fun. I got to play some casuals after the tournament in Keith's room, and I was playing against like Humbag and Luigi Bo, who's got a very good Rose. And it's just a totally different game. Like, it's so good. Like, I really enjoyed my matches versus everybody. Whereas, you know, online it's like, yeah, whatever, you know. So I like playing my friends, you know, it's entertaining, but there's lots of times where we could chalk up things to lag, you know.
Okay.
So I just don't. And also, championship mode, like 99.9% of the players on there are Ryu players. Like,
yeah, or Kin.
Yeah, well, Kin's kind of died now that all the scrubs figured out he's not that good. But like Ryu, it's
now
like
they'll pick the one with the white.
Yeah, you don't have time to like learn a matchup. If you find somebody who likes to stick to one character that you can play, you have time to start adapting to what they can do. Whereas you only have one game and everybody plays differently, so you're going to have to. You can't really focus on playing the character. You got to play the person, and then it just gets very annoying. So
That's any fighting game.
Yeah, it's any fighting game at first, but I mean, you have to. Okay, you have to play.
Everyone has a varying style.
Everybody has a varying style, but like every you learn about options. You learn about situations.
Well, yes, it's very specific situational things.
Yeah, you start to learn about that over time as you play one person. But if you only play one match, you know, Ryu could do jump back roundhouse, crouching roundhouse all on you like all day, and you wouldn't expect him to do that. But somebody will do that just because they don't know any better, you know. But you know, no top player will do that.
That's when you learn what beats.
Then all you have to do is just react to that situation. But if they're like doing the same thing over and over, it's not improving you as a player.
That's true.
Okay,
it's teaching you.
It's teaching you bad habits because you start to get used to Ryu's only Shoryukening on wake up or something like it. That's just a bad habit to get into. So yeah, I see it a lot too. Like, I don't know. I see players like trying to do online tactics in offline games and just doesn't work. So, but you know.
All right, Jordan. How were the HD Remix matches? Or did you play in Super Turbo tournament?
I played in both.
Nice. So which one came first?
ST.
All right. So talk about that.
Fairly early in the day.
Okay.
There were a lot of people that showed up for it. I think it was probably the second biggest turnout next to Street Fighter 4 for both ST and HDR. I didn't do very good. I went 0-2. First match was against. What was my first match? Was it Saber or was it that other guy, that Bison player?
It's that Bison player, I think.
It might have been. There was a really good Bison player there. He was new to the scene, actually. He was like the only other new kid aside from me. He plays Bison, as many people at that tournament did.
Yes.
And his execution was so good. Like, every time he landed a jumping roundhouse or a jumping forward, it was like a combo video. It was instant dizzy, dead, game over.
Who were you playing?
DJ.
Okay.
I mean DJ.
Yeah, you mean
DJ. I was trying to take the Japanese approach to DJ and just play only DJ. That's not
the
working.
Japanese approach being they just play one character.
They just play one character.
Okay.
Learn all the matchups.
But after that tournament, I realized in the American format, where it's best out of 3 and you're allowed to pick different characters, you really have to have a second character.
I mean, do you have to have a second character, or can you just completely Japanese it?
Whoa.
What do you think is the real
DJ.
advantage of splitting your focus between the 2 characters?
The real advantage is not having matchups that you lose horribly.
Then what makes the Japanese capable of that? Then?
They play all day.
They play all day. They learn their character inside and out. Like, they know every little subtle thing about the character. Arguably some American players do the same thing. But I don't know what makes the Japanese different, to be quite honest. I mean, I'm sure it's
I think you kind of hit it there, like looking for the subtlety, the amount of practice time, like Adam said.
And the reaction is crazy.
The reaction time is amazing. But it's a combination of those things. And it just doesn't work over here. And they do best of 1. It's one match in the tournament. So they have to adapt really quickly. And I think that gives them somewhat better.
And anything can happen.
Yeah, that gives them a little bit better of an edge, I guess. They know they have to win that match, so they learn the best tactics even in their worst matchups because they have to stick with that character. I think it's a combination of all those factors that allows it to work in Japan. It just doesn't work over here, though. I mean, it does for Japanese players that come over here, but not for the Americans that actually play over here. So I decided to pick up a second character.
Okay, who are you thinking?
I'm probably going to pick up either Boxer, maybe Dictator, Honda, Ken. I don't know. Thinking about those. Honda doesn't have better matchups against my DJ's bad matchups, so probably not.
Who are DJ's bad matchups?
Ryu is not his worst matchup, but in my opinion it is for me because I'm extremely impatient. That matchup is a lot of patience, and I don't have a lot of patience, so...
What are you waiting out when you're playing against Ryu?
Fireball traps. Yeah. Once he corners you, even when you're not cornered, he will throw fireballs incessantly against DJ, and it's pretty good tactic against DJ. You can't really do a whole lot about it. You wait for an opening, you land a jump-in combo, if you can, if you're close enough. If not, you just get a standing roundhouse, or a jumping roundhouse rather, and then Ryu will do one of a few things. Either he will show you, because he expects you to jump in again. He will walk forward and low roundhouse fireball, which puts you right back in the fireball trap. Or several other things. But either way, it's tough for DJ, because even when you land that jumping roundhouse, it doesn't mean that you're in there.
It just means you've avoided that fireball trap.
Right, that particular, that time, you got to give him some damage. Right. That's it. Now you're right back out. There's a lot of patience to get in there and get a knockdown, which is the key. The key to any DJ matchup is getting a knockdown. And then you go for the cross-up shenanigans and win the game most of the time. But, yeah, it's not working out so well. So Honda's probably not a good choice because it's also a terrible matchup for him. It's worse than it is for DJ. But I've been told, Alex Valle actually told me that my Honda was more patient than my DJ, it seemed. So maybe I actually might have some success with that.
Take the Valle advice.
He gives some pretty good advice.
There you go.
But
anyone else that I would recognize that was there? Anyone else? Other names I would recognize that were there?
NKI.
Kinda.
Dondai, as I already said, West Trolls and Jesse Howard. Other big names in ST included Josh Ballard. I'm sure you've seen Josh Ballard. Josh the Funk Doc.
SRK.
He's pretty popular around here.
He's an Ohio
OG. A lot of people know him.
Yeah, he's very good at like every game he plays. So
even obscure games like Street Fighter EX3.
Yeah, he was really good at that, and he's got a very good set in SF4 and a decent. He qualified for both teams, the 5-on-5 HDR and the SF4 team. Qualified with Ballard for the HDR team, so his Ballard's really good.
He's pretty solid. He's been to Evo finals I think a couple times.
Nice.
So he's pretty good. Anybody else? Darkside Phil. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
I have heard of him.
Yeah, he was there.
Darkside Phil.
I've seen his legendary video against the Kin Scrub. That was fun.
There's a lot of videos out there of him yelling at his television.
Oh yeah, it's all he does.
It's all he does. Yeah.
he gets behind that camera and he's just like, meh. He just starts yelling. I don't know.
He just turns up the penguin.
I mean, if you watch the Midwest Championship videos, he's doing the same thing. He's just yelling. It's pretty funny, but...
All right, Jordan, in past episodes, like with Adam and all the other guests, I've gone like into a little bit of the history, how they got started in fighting games. So, same question as always, how did you get started? What game brought you into fighting games?
Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
There you go.
I played it a lot casually with a couple friends of mine.
About what time was this?
Not very long ago, in fact.
Okay.
It was like 2 years ago, I'd say. I started playing it casually. I don't know. I mean, I'd always play Street Fighter 2, obviously. I mean, everyone really did, kind of, growing up. But I never really took it seriously until about a year ago. I got tired of losing to my stupid casual friends, I guess, because they're really bad. And I'd watched some match videos. I had seen what was possible in the game.
You realize that they're playing so bad, but you're like, I just can't
exactly,
beat them.
Exactly. I can't do anything about it.
It's kind of like where I am
because
right
I'm
now
bad.
with
It's
some
like,
of my
fuck, I'm bad at this game. I'm worse than they are. That makes me mad. So I got mad. That's what I did. And I had been lurking Shoryuken for about a year, just reading the ST threads, not really understanding any of it. You look at the combos, and you're like, God, that looks hard. It's like, oh, standing low jab and a standing strong. How do you do that on this controller? You know, and I don't know. I learned quite a bit from that. But after I started beating them, I was like, okay, now what? And then I actually made an account on SRK, started posting, asking questions, you know, that they were coming up in matches, getting really interested in the game. Kind of like fell in love with the game. I don't know. It's kind of strange way to put it, but it's kind of the way it is.
Super turbo love.
Yep. Not a lot of people have that.
No, they don't.
Not around here anyway.
Not around here.
People on the West Coast love the game, but not around here. So I started reading a lot of threads. I started reading instead of actually playing the game. I just started reading about the game. You know, reading just information, mind game aspects of the game, learning frame data. I didn't really learn it on purpose. I just picked it up as I went along.
Okay.
And eventually just started beating all my scrubby friends. And it wasn't until about a year later, about 6 months ago, in fact, that I discovered the Midwest scene around here. I'm relatively new. I mean, I think I met up with Josh Queen in November, wasn't it? Was that TVU, the first TVU?
First TVU was in December.
December?
Yeah.
Well, I think I met Josh in November.
Oh, okay.
And then he had TVU, and we went down to Keith's house in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
And I met everybody.
That was
pretty much.
Time, yeah, met most people. I met him there.
Cool.
Outside smoking cigarettes.
Yep.
Talking about
World of Warcraft.
Dexter's Lab and World of
Lab.
Warcraft. But yeah, I mean, I'm relatively new to fighting games in general and the community as a whole. So, yeah,
so have you picked up
history.
any other fighting games that you've liked? I mean, apparently not.
I've tried some games out. I like Third Strike. I do.
Yeah.
But I just don't want to.
That's good.
I don't want to devote the time to it right now.
Yeah, you do.
Not right now.
Actually, no, you don't.
I want to at least like get halfway through the pools at Evo. Come on.
At Third Strike?
No, at
oh, okay.
At Super.
I was gonna say good luck.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna get through the pool. Actually, Humbag's my teammate. Maybe I can just ride on his
I really
shoulders.
need to practice some Super Turbo like before Evo, and then I think in between the time from Evo to Seasons Meetings, I'll play some Third Strike. Maybe I'll enter it at Seasons Meetings just to play, you know. But I like Third Strike. I wanted to get into Guilty Gear for the longest time, but I don't like that game. I don't like that game. I don't like it. I don't like the way it works. I don't like easy combos. Well, some of those combos are really hard, admittedly, but I don't want to just learn.
You just don't like a combo game.
I don't like games where you can cancel any normal and any normal. I don't like being caught in those combos, for one thing. It's really frustrating to just watch your character be tossed around the screen. It's another reason I don't play Marvel.
Yeah.
It's just really frustrating to be trapped like that. Which comes weird. It sounds weird coming from me, because tick throws and ST are kind of the same way.
They kind of are.
But it's different in the sense that tick throws are over in about 0.5 seconds, whereas those combos last like 10
it's
seconds.
It's not as agonizingly.
Yeah. You can't do anything.
To watch.
It's like, God, stop!
It goes from 30 to 40 hit to 50 hit.
I've been thinking about getting in a 4. I really hate the game right now.
What's turned you off so far to it?
Well, first of all,
Besides everything.
it feels like you're in Jello when you're playing the game, like you're walking around underwater. There's something on the moon. That explains the really high jumps.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I
Being on
guess
the moon.
you're on the moon.
Like, you jump really high, and you jump really fast, but you don't move very far horizontally. I don't understand that.
It's the stages, actually. I think it's just your perception.
It's not my perception. It's a fact. I mean,
Well, I'm just saying
it's
your
a fact of your
perception. Your perception is that the jumps are slow.
They are.
But
Well, they're not slow.
They don't cover a lot of ground. But in reality, the stage is a lot of ground. Like the stages are longer, way longer than in like Super
What you're saying doesn't make any sense.
The
stages are longer. I agree.
Yeah.
In
so
4,
closing
in
a
4.
gap in that game takes longer.
Yeah, especially because the jump doesn't go very far.
I guess it goes. It doesn't go very far. I don't know. Like
It's different.
It's not
different.
It's not quite an umbrella, but think like umbrella, like maybe scrunched a little bit.
I was thinking more like a really steep angle of the roof of a house. It's like, you know?
Just all up and then right down.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't know. I think playing Rufus, he covers a lot of ground. He covers the ground through the air very fast.
Horizontal. Well, he has a dive kick. So.
And he has the roll.
And he has a roll.
And the roll gets him in pretty
That's
quick.
quite different. But that's one of my beefs with 4. Another beef with 4 is, of course, all the easy execution. I'm all for being able to do a move whenever you want, even if you're not necessarily the greatest execution. But what I'm not for is people doing things accidentally that still hit me because they made a mistake. Like when you cross somebody out. Autocorrects, for example.
Autocorrects are very annoying.
That's one huge example of what I'm talking about. Is autocorrects. And when you cross them up, it doesn't matter. You still get punished for it, even though you timed like a safe jump perfectly. It's not safe in that game because it always autocorrects. There's autocorrection ST, but it's really rare, except for Honda's Super for some odd reason. But
yeah,
it's really rare, and you can get it to do it on purpose with like Shoryus with the Shotos, but other than that, it's really hard to do on purpose. So when it happens to me, I'm like, wow, that's actually skill because he meant to do it. But in SF4, they don't mean to.
They're just mashing.
They're just mashing
Right.
Shoryu. It's dumb.
Yeah, there was some guy playing at Arcade Legends the other day who we called the Street Fighter 4 player because he was playing me in Third Strike, and you could just, it was just like stick noises the entire time. Like he was just mashing. And the game at a high level, I would say, is definitely not a mashing game, but there are things you can it's reversals and like anti-cross up stuff like that you can mash because there's really no incentive not to. Like you're just gonna get it anyway. Like
I played that guy in CVS 2, and
is he doing the same thing?
yeah, he was like shaking the cabinet. Like that's how hard he was pulling the stick. I was like, whoa. Explains why this jab button's broken.
Yeah. But
Like,
yeah,
the buttons on that cabinet.
SF4 has its complaints. Hopefully they just fix it in the next iteration. But I still enjoy games of it. It just, at a top level, they aren't mashing, So it's fun to play somebody who's actually serious.
I think maybe that's part of my beef is I'm just playing horrible people at it that do horrible things like mash Shoryu so hard that they get it on the other side. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's
about
it's
it.
also risky. What if I jumped and I didn't?
What if you
attack?
baited?
Yeah, what if I baited?
You got to do a lot of baiting.
What if I baited your stupid fucking retarded autocorrect Shoryu?
And then you're dead.
I was really surprised. My brother had never played Street Fighter 4 or any fighting game really. And
was he beating you with Geef?
No, he played Ken and Ryu.
That's a common story.
Yeah. Ken and Ryu, he picked those. Pretty basic pick. You recognize those characters. But every time I would wait for it, and I would focus attack, dash cancel back from my knockdowns on him, and he wouldn't short you.
Really?
I don't know if he didn't know that he could, but
Or
for
if
some
he
reason,
was- or if he was
he
being
never
safe.
really did, he never just threw it out all the time. He actually it seemed like he was trying to
That's a good
That's
mindset.
good.
me out a
That's
little
good.
bit.
That's really good.
Your brother has a future in fighting games.
It's too bad he hates them. Now I need his skill. I don't know.
Eat his brain.
Nom,
Eat
nom,
his
nom,
brain.
nom, nom. Fighting game zombies. And there should be like a game like that somewhere.
Fighting, there is, isn't there?
But yeah, 4 I might get into 4, and I'll probably get into Third Strike.
All right, well then let's talk about some HD remix strategy. So just
That's a vague.
yeah, it's very vague because I don't know exactly what I'm talking about.
DJ
But,
specifics, that would be a good
DJ
place.
specific mix up.
Mix up. DJ has a lot of mix up.
All right, well give me
He's
one.
Mix up intensive. When you go for the cross up, if they block your cross up, you can either do 2 low jabs into tick throw, 1 low jab tick throw, 2 low jabs, low forward, because they expect a tick throw, then you get another knockdown, another cross-up. You can do...
Because they were trying to...
but they were trying to reversal throw or reversal period. That's and it also combos. Low jab, low forward combos. So if they actually do press a button, then they get hit.
Nice.
Even if they reversal, it doesn't matter. They're just pressing buttons. You can't reversal out of a combo. So.
Right.
Yeah. If you miss it though, and they do reversal, if you miss the low forward, it's kind of a tough link. If you miss it, you get fucked. But it's worth it. It's worth the risk. That's pretty much his basic mix-up game. Cross-up not in the corner. In the corner, a lot of his mix-up game is, for me, a lot of players play him differently in the corner. But when you have someone in the corner, I like to go for either low like jab or short tick throws, and then I fake them out, and I'll do like a low short into machine gun uppercut. I don't do it very much, but I do it sometimes. Or I'll do jumping jab tick throw, or jumping jab low forward, just to get another knockdown. And then I can do like a meaty max out, and then throw them off of that, a meaty jab max out, because you have enough recovery to walk up and throw them. Okay. That's very tough to get out of. It's quite a frame trap. You just mix it up with a bunch of different stuff. A good player that I played is named Namra on SRK. His name is Harmon in real life. He came to...
I've seen him. I was like, what in the world's up with his name? And then I was like, oh,
it's his name backwards.
Yeah, exactly.
right. He's a pretty good DJ. He likes to go for more of a Bison kind of approach to the corner play. He just does a lot of walk-up standing shorts and then eventually throws. Or he
it's like,
does...
you know it's going to happen. You know it's there you go.
You don't know when.
You just don't know when. It's just going to happen.
That's quite a different approach. But it's very... DJ can be played a lot of ways. He can be played turtle style. He can rush you down. He can do all sorts of things.
Do you go back and forth, or do you stick to a certain style?
I usually like to zone it first, and then when they try to get on me, I like to turn the tables on them.
Okay.
I like to get a knockdown and then go for the cross-up after they've worked hard to get in on me. I find that hilarious. They've worked so hard, and now it's for nothing. It's to kill themselves, really. Right. But it doesn't work against top players. They will outzone you, especially with Ryu or Ken. So I'm gonna have to start playing him a lot more aggressively or a lot more turtly. I don't have the patience for turtly, so.
Now I know I don't have many listeners yet, but and anybody who would listen probably already knows this. But for those who don't, explain tick throwing.
Tick throws are basically you throw out a move that you have more recovery than... you have a faster recovery than they do after you hit them with it. Yeah, they have... Their block stun's longer than your recovery.
Yeah. Now, is it character specific for different normals?
No, block stun is always the same length on every character, and it is also the same length as hit stun. Okay. So if they block it or get hit, it doesn't matter. They're in the same amount of stun, so you can throw them on the same frame either way. You can't be thrown out of hit stun or block stun. So the way tick throws work is you do the low jab or low short or jumping jab or jumping short or whatever, which is kind of dependent on character, which ticks are better. But and on the very same frame that they come out of block stun or hit stun, you throw them. And it's very difficult to get out of this because the only way to do it is to reversal on that one frame that you come out of hit stun or block stun. You have one frame before you get thrown. And during that one frame, you have to reversal with an attack that has invulnerability frames at startup or hits on the first frame. And there's not a lot of moves that hit on the first frame in ST.
Hit on the first frame versus invulnerability. Like a Dragon Punch has invulnerability, but it hits on the fourth?
I was trying to think. It hits on the fifth frame, but I was trying to think of attacks that hit on the first frame. I don't know.
Attacks that hit on the first frame.
Yeah, there are attacks that hit on the very first frame they come out.
Maybe something from Guile.
Flash kick?
Flash kick has at least 4 frames to start up.
Yeah, they all have startup. Like I can't really. I just think of.
There are a couple moves. I'm not sure what.
Just your best option really is just something with invulnerability behind it.
But that's the only option to get out, and you have one frame to land that. So it's really tough. Like that's why people complain about tick throws. But once you accept it, and I know it's hard, but once you accept it, it's just another part of the game. It adds a lot more mind gaminess to it.
Mind gaming,
especially when you're playing at a top level where everyone can reversal consistently because they've been doing it forever. Right. It's more of a mind game than it is something to work to get out
Something
of.
to abuse.
It's not really abusable. I mean,
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
not.
It is against lesser players. But
It's
if their
not
timing is
versus
good,
pros.
you are going to get reversals eventually. I mean, it's going to happen. It's unavoidable.
Now, when you're choosing which normal to use, is it a matter of range with the tick throw too?
Certain characters, yeah. With DJ, if I'm at a low jab range, I'll low short because that's a better range. But usually no. I mean, usually it's just a light attack of some kind, a light punch or a light kick. It's not really.
So is it
character
as
dependent.
long as the move connects, you'll still be able to tick throw?
No.
No.
I mean,
see, that's what I was getting at.
light attacks, yes.
Okay.
Most of the time. It depends on the range it does.
Okay.
Like, you have to be relatively close for most characters. Guile's low light kick doesn't work very well as a tick, but it does have good range. It just has bad recovery. It's good for combos. But you can use other moves as tick throws, though. I mean, that's just basic. You want to... I mean, if you're new to the game, using light attacks is probably best for tick throwing. It's also going to frustrate whoever you're playing with if they're new as well. But, like, you can meaty low forward with Shotos, and that works as a tick throw. Bison's low forward sometimes works as a tick throw. His standing forward also does sometimes. It's weird. I'm not really sure on the subtle nuances of that, but I'm aware of them. A bunch of other moves. Zangief's attacks, like his standing short, low short, I think low forward meaty, ticks into his SPD, which is really dangerous. It has more active frames than a normal throw does, I think.
Have you guys seen the real life Zangief spinning pile driver movie?
No.
He does it on a doll in a wrestling ring.
Oh yeah.
Have you
No,
seen
I
that?
posted that.
I heard about it.
I posted that on our thread. Yes.
Heard about it from this guy.
Yes, he does. He backbreakers the doll and then throws him up for an SPD.
And they have the Street Fighter 4 sound effect in the back. So
Oh,
it's
really?
Like, "Hero!"
I just saw the GIF of it. I was like, when I first saw it, obviously I didn't notice it was a doll. I was like, holy crap, he just SPD'd somebody. That is the coolest thing ever. And then I saw it was a doll. I was like, oh, it lost some merit, but
It's like, how
It's
in
still
the
cool
world
that-
did he break that person's
it's still
back
cool
like
that somebody knows about SPD. That is, that's in the wrestling community. I was hoping somebody would do. There's already a guy who does a Darun Meister type thing. That he was in the EX series. He was like Zangief's counterpart. He was like this big Indian wrestler guy, and he would instead of doing a spin in the air, he would do a front flip. And there's already a wrestler out there who does like a front flip pile driver. So
Wow.
yeah, I don't know what his name is, but I've seen it. So
I saw some crazy, El Fuerte, crazy,
oh yeah, the
luchador.
the luchador I
wrestling.
linked. Yeah, El Fuerte in
those
real
guys,
life.
Man, that's crazy.
He
How's that
basically
possible? He flips around his...
He turns into a tie on the guy's neck, basically, and just flips around 9 times on his neck, 10 hurricanranas in a row. Throws him out of the ring, jumps at him again, and does one more hurricanrana in midair as he catches him with his legs. And he lands on his feet after it too. He swings around the dude's
Ta-da!
neck. Yeah, it was El Fuerte in real. He was tortilla bombing, and it was awesome.
It was crazy.
All right, here, let's continue. The corner. You're stuck in the corner with DJ. How do you escape?
Up kicks.
Yeah, eventually.
What if they're not jumping?
You have to wait for that. Yeah, you have to wait for that opportunity. It's specific to a matchup, but most of the time you just have to look for a hole in their offense. Because if you're in the corner, chances are they're not just sitting back. If they were, it'd be easy to get out of the corner. Versus Guile, usually you have to wait until he throws the sonic boom and then walks up, and you want a reversal after the sonic boom. Your up kicks will hit him. Then you can go for a cross up or something, which is kind of dangerous on Guile, but that's a whole other matter altogether.
Right.
Fucking roundhouse
Flash kick!
Roundhouse fucking flash kick. An HD remix is
It's
so
good.
stupid.
It covers the entire
He
screen.
can get out of any setup. It's so retarded.
It's
Anyways,
really good.
it's really frustrating. Versus Ryu, you're obviously going to be in the fireball trap if you're in the corner most of the time. You have to either wait for him to come in for a low roundhouse, wait for him to jump, wait for a hole in his fireballs. When you get that hole in the fireballs, you have to exploit it as much as you can, because you don't know if you're going to get another chance.
Now, when he's coming in for the
I think I heard
low short, what do you do? Are you trying to reversal or
The low roundhouse?
okay?
Yeah,
Low round. Sorry.
I haven't really figured out an answer for that yet.
Okay. There's your homework assignment.
Well, you see, usually it's after a jab fireball. He'll walk in, do a low roundhouse, cancel it into another fireball. I guess you could...
Could you up kicks reversal at some point? You could jump if you really wasn't expecting it.
You could do it after the first jab fireball. You could... But That's dangerous. I mean, he's gonna have good range.
What about reversal dread kicks after he does the fireball? Like if he pushes you out, could you dread kicks back in?
You might be able to short dread kicks back in over his low roundhouse. It's possible.
Just throwing it out there.
It's possible.
I don't play enough HD remix.
Time to test things. I guess.
I mean, his dread kicks have lower body invulnerability, like leg. It's immune to sweeps for the first few frames.
Oh, so you could dread kicks.
Yeah,
before he
theoretically you could.
Theory fighter.
That'd be really.
They should make a game called Theory
I don't know.
Fighter.
I don't honestly.
That'd be awesome.
Honestly, I don't use dread
talking.
kicks enough, so it's possible.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just wait for that hole, do a jump in combo if you can. If not, you have to keep him away from you. You have to keep pushing him back into a corner, because that's the only way you're gonna kill him, or cross him up. Whatevs.
So how often do you practice, and for how long?
Every day.
Okay.
Probably. Well, some days less than others, but usually I play ST on GGPO for a couple hours, and I'll get on HD Remix for a couple hours. Probably about 4 hours a day tops.
We played 3 hours last night.
Yeah, it was
I come
pretty
over
good.
and play because I don't take it seriously, but I still like to play it. You know.
Nice. Yeah.
So
It's a pretty entertaining game.
it is entertaining.
Honestly.
It's fun.
It can be fun. I like.
It's
when
really
I see,
deep, but people don't think it is.
It's deep. I just like when I see dumb stuff. Obviously you wouldn't consider it dumb, but just stuff that you just doesn't look right. You know, like when Josh did a cross up was it medium kick or roundhouse with Ballard?
I was using Balrog. He was using, was it Blanca or Honda?
I think it was Blanca.
I think it was Honda, actually.
Really?
He did a butt flop over me, and I low roundhouse just at the weirdest time where, I don't know, I can't explain it, actually. When things like that happen, I don't know what to say. Like a lot of those NKI combo videos where
it's stuff like that.
Where he's hitting them this way, but they're on the other side of him and it still hits.
Yeah, way back in the
I don't know if you've seen that. I don't know if you've seen those videos.
I
low roundhouse that came out towards the corner where he was behind me,
and
and
it hit
it
him.
knocked him down.
Yeah, and this happened at Key's house actually. I think you were there. It was another time where we were running a mini tournament at his house. You might have not been there. I'm not sure. I don't know. You might have been, but Quinn was playing Cody with Chun, and Quinn was Chun, Cody was Guile, and Cody threw out a sonic boom right in his face, and you see Guile's hands actually cross over Chun, go through her, and the sonic boom goes behind her, and she still goes and gets hit back by it. I know, but
what the fuck do you expect?
It's a sonic boom in your face, but the way it looks,
it comes out on the other side because his animation.
Yeah, it's just the animation for it. It just looked totally wrong though. How the fireball was behind him hitting him.
Did it hit from behind? Did it knock?
It hit from behind and knocked him
forward?
back. It hit from behind and knocked him backwards at the same time.
What's the problem with that?
It just looked funny.
Okay. Yeah, it looks funny.
It just looks funny. And of course, Quentin was like, "What the hell, bro?" And threw the controller.
I don't understand this game. I don't understand. Never mind. Whatever. Anyways, what was the question?
Dude, what?
I don't remember.
You got a
for
list.
the next talking point. Well,
You
it
lost
was on the
your
other
place.
page. No, not really. I'm just looking for some things that we've already covered a lot of stuff that I have written down just from talking about any other.
I see some interesting stuff. Some rivals.
Pick one.
Josh Ballard is a personal rival of mine. He's not aware of this.
Josh the fuck dog.
He's not aware of this. I like the guy. He's really fun to talk to. He's really weird, but he's really fun to talk to. But I don't know. He always beats me at tournaments I go to. He's always the guy that knocks me out. He wasn't at Midwest Championships, but at the last 2 TVUs, he's been the guy that knocks me out of the tournament. That's nothing personal with the first one. I was really, really bad then, but
Now
the last one, it was a really good match.
You gotta beat him, man.
It was a really good match. It was down to the wire, just like all of my tournament matches are. Third round of the third game, and I counterpicked his Balrog after the first game. I was using DJ the first game. I counterpicked him with Vega, which is actually not a very good counterpick, but it's not bad either. It's a pretty even matchup in my opinion. But yeah, he stood up and shook my hand afterwards and said, "Really good game, man. Really good game." So, I didn't do bad.
And then you had fire in your eyes.
Yeah, and then I went
Opera
outside.
music was
Then I went
playing.
outside and started talking shit about him and smoking a cigarette. But whatever. It's all.
So when was your first tournament? Was it a them versus us?
I think it was the first TVU.
Cool.
My first fighting game tournament.
How did it feel to be at the first kind of big gathering of some local players?
I didn't know what to make of it. I was new to the community. I didn't know if this happened all the time or
Right.
What was going on. But
It just seemed like a bunch of crazy gamers.
a bunch of
all their
weirdos for
TVs.
show. God, meeting Mike South for the first time, that was interesting.
That's a story within itself when you meet Mike South for the first time. There's videos on YouTube.
I was like, who is this rat man?
He looks like Master Splinter, but there are videos on YouTube that you can find of him. Well, it's not of him. You don't see him actually, but you hear him. You definitely hear him the whole time. It's like Fei Long. Somebody, I think it's Antoine Ortiz playing Fei Long against this Sagat, and you just hear him whining and complaining the whole time. But it's great. It's great entertainment. And then at the very end, when he loses, you hear him smash his stick. So
oh no.
Yeah, he broke his stick at the second TVU. He Masatsu palmed that stuff down like a Kuma.
It's just Mike South.
Yeah, and he broke his, like, the side panels fell off and the bottom fell off. It was too entertaining to watch. Like Mario Riot Guard on the forums, he was playing him and he beat him, and that was over an SF4 match. And he just grabbed his stick and just walked away laughing. Like, you could tell he was like trying to contain it.
It was good times.
It was good times.
So how do you feel about competition, Jordan? Is that what got you into fighting games?
I like winning, that's for sure.
There you go.
I think that's just winning. That night, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I might have something to prove or something. I'm not sure what that's all about, but
now you could win and prove yourself at a lot of other different kinds of games, chess.
He's a Scrabble champion. So.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say champion.
Well, you're good at Scrabble.
I'm also good at a lot of other things, but I don't know. Things get boring to me relatively quickly. I get really good at something, and then I'm like, this is boring. It's not really good. I always get like one step below pro. I always get stuck there for like the longest time, and then I get bored of being there. I'm like, I don't have the patience for this. And I just quit. But fighting games haven't really bored me yet. They're starting to be honest, but I don't think it's gonna be a huge problem. I think that's just because of my recent experiences, and
what recent experience?
I mean, just Midwest Championships in general.
Fighting games aren't boring if you play new
people. It was pretty discouraging, but at the same time, now I know what it's like. I know what it takes, so I can work towards that goal. I just need to play with a lot of top players and learn what the game really is about.
Right.
I haven't been playing the same game up until this point. In my opinion, it's not the same at all. When I play somebody else, there's like no mind games involved. It's just reacting to what they do, which is simple and easy. Especially if you have good execution and you can have a good reaction time. It's really easy to play against someone who's not that good. But playing against top players really is a different experience in general. I mean, all around different.
So what are the opportunities in the Midwest for you to play with any of those? I mean, besides MWC.
Well, I have the internet, and that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
In fact, I talk to Afro Legends on AIM a lot. He's probably the best DJ in the United States, easily. And probably like the second best Ballard in the United States, maybe first best, I'm not sure. I'm not pro, I can't really tell you, but that's my opinion. I'm actually scheduled to play with him tonight.
Nice.
That should be fun. He says he's out of practice and his timing is bad, but I'm going to guess it's not as bad as he thinks it is. You know what I mean?
Is that over GGPO?
No, we're going to play on Xbox Live.
Okay, HD Remix.
Yeah.
You got Brent.
I play with Brent once in a while. I play with Mad Possum. He's really good. I beat his Honda a couple times the other night. He's really good, but it's also Honda's worst matchup.
Played against Graham Wolf.
I played against Graham Wolf on GGPO. I beat him 7 out of 14 games. 7 out of 14 matches, I should say. Which actually isn't really that much of an accomplishment right now. Graham Wolf is, I think, really out of practice. Like, he's been playing World of Warcraft. And
That'll do it.
It's really, yeah, it's really...
If you ever want to kill your fighting game progress, just go back to WoW.
It's really showing. Like, he just wasn't doing that well. He was getting beaten by a bunch of other people, too. And he was getting dogged on pretty hard about it by some other guys in the room, and I was just... I don't know. I mean, it's still something, It's still something.
Yeah, taking wins on a well-known name or a top player is still.
But I could tell he was off.
Yeah, but it's still an accomplishment. He's been playing the game long. I always think of it as an accomplishment when I'm beating somebody at a game that they've been playing longer than me, because there's no excuse for them to really be losing to me, in my opinion. I mean, experience is everything to me, so that's why I try to go to. Honestly, I recommend, if you're getting into the scene, try to go to as many tournaments as possible, even if you feel like you aren't doing well in them.
Yeah, I think it's another thing.
You'll start the tournament experience.
That's another thing I really lack is tournament experience. Midwest Championships is only my third tournament.
And
that was like my fifth.
Now I'm going to Evo.
Nice.
It's going to be my next tournament, and Seasons Beatings.
Nice.
So
What's your ambition then? I mean, You said you were kind of getting bored. Is the tournament scene what you think?
I think that's what's going to do it for me. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
playing with top players a lot. I think that's exactly what I need.
Nice.
To really step it up to the next level. I'm not going to be pro status after that, but I mean, I'll be pretty solid. I'll be able to consistently beat local competition, I think.
Right.
The only local competition that really beats me now is Josh Queen.
Mm.
And
I beat you.
And that's just, well, you beat me, but not 100%.
No, not 100%.
I mean, not even, you beat me probably 25%, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, and only
If I'm not playing Vega.
If only with Vega, yeah. I don't know what. I need to learn that matchup.
I'm very annoying.
I need to learn that fucking matchup. Dude.
It's weird too because I prefer HD Remix Vega over ST Vega, even though ST Vega is miles better because he like HD Remix Vega doesn't knock down when he does a wall dive. It just hits you and then stops. But HD Remix Vega can cancel his wall dive with kick, so you just flip out like.
Oh.
And I like that better because I like to be able to like get within a range I know that the person's best move can go and just stop. And if they throw out a move, you just got like a free throw. Or free anything really after that. Like it's more of a mind game, I guess.
And Josh Queen, the only reason he beats me is honestly just mind games. Like my mind games just aren't that strong. And I fall for his bullshit sometimes.
It is bullshit.
I think the last time we played a lot of games in a row, it was like 38 to 56. I had 38, he had 56, which isn't. It's not bad. He's been playing the game since it came out. I've been playing the game for about a year, seriously. So,
yeah.
you just. I don't think I'm doing that bad. I think I'm all right.
Nice.
I think I'm making progress.
That's all that matters.
Well, we have just come up on an hour, and I think that
There's no more questions?
an hour usually does it. People who are listening usually go around now anyway.
You just need to bump up the soundtrack, man. I'm not digging the opener theme. But did you
your-
make that yourself?
No.
No, really?
No, I found it on
What is it?
a free sound website.
It's like a, I don't know, it sounds like video game music, kind of. It's like a techno remix of video game music.
Yeah.
I don't
That's
know.
what I was looking for. After I do the first
Use some fucking metal.
Seriously. We have you can
Use
do some
some-
Final Fantasy music.
No, fuck that.
What? Advent Children has some good songs.
Yeah, it does. Like the Genova theme is really
Yeah,
good.
you could use the Genova theme.
But I mean,
I want to keep it copyright free.
Yeah.
Well, no. You see, it's non-profit, and the I think the laws for
yeah.
copyright go if it's non-profit, if you're not making any money from it, you can use 30 seconds of a song.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I already asked for a PS3 on this podcast, so
Uh-oh.
unfortunately I don't think you can do that. But I haven't gotten a PS3 yet, so
No, okay.
Well,
donate to the Send Adam a PS3 fund. But
I
yeah,
think I'll change the music. I mean, when
yeah, sure.
I'll look on that same website. I'm
Just
sure
spice
that
it up.
probably got something there.
Yeah. Have you posted about this at all in the Midwest thread? Like, I would.
Podcast?
Yeah, I would post it in the Midwest discussion.
Right.
Just because it's a podcast.
there's gonna be a
about the
couple
Midwest.
people that are gonna shoot you down.
Of course.
One of them is Josh Queen.
Yes, one of them is Josh Quinn.
He's like, no one cares about your shitty podcast. Get the fuck out. And then everybody's gonna be like, Josh, shut up. And then people might take interest, but my main concern is, if you want to be taken seriously, stop interviewing scrubs like me. Brent's good. Brent is very good. I'm really glad you got to. Didn't you interview Galleon as well?
Yeah, I've talked to Galleon twice. My last podcast was with
Awesome.
the last one I recorded was with Galleon and Fuji about
Awesome.
seasons.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, that's
good.
great.
That's
Yeah.
very good. That's
Yeah,
great.
dude, definitely. Then, yeah, people are interested. Like, Seasons
People-
Beatings is slowly becoming a really big deal. Like, it's as bad. I think it's about as big as Final Round. Honestly, it's just location wise. I don't think it could draw as many people as Georgia could.
Right.
But still, like, there's people from Florida and California that fly out to play one game for Seasons Beatings. You know,
Right.
and it's just the experience. So
I mean, a lot of West Coast players show up.
yeah,
I mean,
it has a lot of California players. So
Well, as the interviewing scrubs, it's just like I don't know. I kind of feel like I want to get inside the local scenes too.
oh, that's fine. Yeah.
I don't want to
Yeah.
focus too much on.
Jordan's not a
the big
scrub. You're an
players.
intermediate player.
Yeah, yeah.
There's
I-
definitely scrubs around here. I won't name names.
I mean,
but
there's
there's
some more
scrubs.
interesting stories and stuff to be found from people who are either just getting
I can give you,
started
I can
or
give you
in
some
the
funny,
intermediate
give you
level.
some funny stories from Midwest Championships.
Yeah, we have some good stories.
Hey, we've got time. I mean, if it goes over an hour, I don't mind.
All right.
Shoot some stories.
There's a lot of beef between David Serlin and Nick NKI.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like NKI was just dogging on David Serlin the entire time.
Yeah.
We were playing casuals on Saturday night. He was just, it was hilarious. He was like, have you seen that YouTube video where David Serlin asked that professor if he's ever heard of Yomi? and we were like, Jesus.
I got it.
And then we just started making fun of David Sterling. You got that Yomi?
he asked. He was at a Berkeley, California, Berkeley University, I think. There was a class on StarCraft and like video game theory and like mechanics, stuff like that. Like basically knowledge of video games, like as pertains to StarCraft.
It focused on StarCraft, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know. The professor's talking about how you manage your time practicing and the methods to beat opponents and stuff like that. And then David Sterling just chimes in with like, "Have you ever heard of Yomi?" And the professor's like, "No." And he's like, "It's the Japanese word for reading the mind of your opponent. I wrote a book about it, and I also made a card game based on it." And the professor's like, "Oh, okay."
And the whole class just laughs.
Yeah, they laugh at him. I don't think they're laughing with him.
No, they're not laughing with him. They're laughing at him.
But like, what a self-absorbed asshole. I talked to him last night for like an hour. About changes to HD Remix, because there's this big debate on SRK right now. NKI actually started the thread after Midwest Championships. I think maybe our conversations had something to do with it, but there's a lot of heated discussion about Dictator, but I won't go into that. But I was talking to David Sterling, and I asked him about some specific changes in HDR and why they were made, because they seem pointless to me. First I asked him about DJ. I said, I think that, machine gun uppercut destroying fireballs is pointless. If you have a machine gun uppercut charged and your reaction time is better than like 5 seconds, you should be able to throw a fireball at a fireball. It's no problem. And he was like, well, it doesn't matter if it didn't help because it didn't hurt either. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
It's like some...
That's like speaking in parable.
Yeah.
He's like, well, DJ was really solid already. And I was like, I agree. But...
it's just a pointless thing. Like,
why
don't dread kicks destroy fireballs?
And I was like, okay, whatever. All that stupidity aside, I asked him about Chun-Li's down forward roundhouse no longer crossing up. Which,
it's like the flip over move she does.
Yeah, and she used to abuse it a lot in ST, and she would like either do close fears after or throw. She had a lot of mix up with it. It helped her win a lot of matchups. I asked him why that change was made, because it seems rather pointless to make her weaker when he's trying. He said his entire point, at the beginning of rebalancing the game was not to nerf the top tiers, but to bring everyone else nearer to their level.
That's.
I know. It's whatever.
It's dumb. Yeah.
But then he nerfs Chun-Li. She's not even what? I was like, she's not even like mid tier. Like, what the fuck are you doing? And he said that he asked several pros, including like Graham Wolf and Alex Wolf and NKI and blah 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 blah. He listed all these names. I interrupted him and I was like, I don't care about who you asked. I care about what their reasoning was. And he was like, well, let me get to that. And then he named like 50 more names. And he was like, all these people said take it out. And I was like, okay, now why? He's like,
it wouldn't hurt.
She doesn't need it to win. And I was like, what? You did what?
Your brain just explodes at that point.
I was like,
it's like Ryu doesn't need Shoryu to win. If the guy just sits there and he eats your pokes, that's fine. but it's kind of important.
I mean, I just don't understand how she doesn't need it to win certain matchups. First of all, he's like, well, there's no more old Sagat, and I was like, the new Sagat's pretty good. He's not terrible. He's not very good, but he's not terrible at all. He can still beat Chun-Li, and he's like, well, it's a lot easier. Trust me. You just don't know. And I was like, whatever.
You just don't know.
Whatever, David Sterling. I am done with you. Like, he was being really condescending and just being an asshole. And I guess I can understand. I'm sure he gets a lot of the same questions a lot, and he gets a lot of the same attitude towards him. But, I mean, he's asking for it, honestly. I mean, he's the one doing this to himself. And he's like, and all around, I think more pros prefer HDR over ST. I've talked to a lot.
We disagree.
I've talked to a lot of top players at Midwest Championships. I can agree with NKI being a little biased. He's known for things needing to be perfect for him to be able to want to play a game. But and I'm sure he dislikes change in general for ST because it's the game that he loves the most. But I've talked to Alex Valle I've talked to Afro Legends. I've talked to a lot of West Coast players, and I guess the overall opinion over there is that nobody likes it. Like, nobody really likes playing the game. They don't understand why it needed to be changed in the first place. Like, why did it need to be rebalanced? I agree that Old Sagat's a little bit broken, but it's not like he wins every Evo. Chun-Li won when Takedo came over here. He is Japanese, I'll give you that. But, I mean, and John Choi is, honestly, it takes a lot of skill to use Old Sagat. You can't just spam fireballs a day. Your spacing has to be perfect. John Choi is very good. If he was anything less than very good, he would be getting beaten. So it's not like it's easy mode victory for Old Sagat. He is a bit... I mean, he doesn't have a lot of bad matchups. He doesn't... I think he has, like, 2 bad matchups. I'm not even sure about that. But I don't understand why the game needed to be rebalanced either. I started on Classic ST, and it's still my favorite game. HD Remix is... It's good. I'm glad that it's done a lot for the community. Street Fighter 2 is going through a lot of changes right now. A lot of community changes, like gaining a lot of people. I'm glad about that, sure. But I just don't see how or why it needed to be rebalanced in the first place. And another one of David Sterling's main arguments to me was that it looks better to the spectators. And I was just like, are you seriously making that argument?
It's not about...
I don't give a fuck.
It's not about the spectators. Yeah, it's not about entertaining somebody, you know.
It's like chess hasn't changed.
Well, yeah,
however long, but they haven't done an HD remix.
Yeah, they haven't done HD remix chess where there's like holographic pieces. You know,
exactly. They're not trying to draw in more people because it's not about that to them. It's about the game's integrity.
Yeah.
And I think that's what should have mattered most. I agree that it's 2009. People have HD TVs. We should be able to play ST on an HD TV. I agree, but I mean, look what they're doing to Marvel. The new Marvel coming out is not HD. They upscaled the graphics so that there's no HD lag on an HD TV. What's the problem with that? And they're not making any gameplay changes. There's no balance changes.
They're taking out some glitches, but it's nothing.
They're taking out game-breaking glitches that froze the game on command.
Now, can you still play original Super Turbo with HD remix?
Yes.
I mean, nothing's changed. Just like the background.
Just the sprites in the background.
Yeah, you can change the sprites. And it is old ST, right?
But
it's the same. It's the same games. It's the Dreamcast port, basically. Okay. David Sterling said it was the arcade, but it's not. It's the Dreamcast port, essentially. It's not bad, but no one plays it. That's the thing. They would rather get on GGPO, which has A, better netcode, and B, better players. Classic ST mode and HD Remix is pointless because nobody... Why would you want to play it? Why? It has shitty netcode. There's rollbacks like a fucking Walmart sale every 5 minutes.
There is.
It's stupid. So just play on GGPO if you want to play Classic ST. That's what I do. There's a lot of good players on there. There's a couple bad players, but most of them are pretty decent. So I don't understand why HD Remix had to be made in the first place.
Other
I mean, they
stories.
told David Sterling to begin. This is why he was fired from Backbone Entertainment. They didn't want to do an HD remix version of the game. They didn't want to do a rebalanced version of the game.
They
said
HD.
just change the version, just change the graphics to HD and leave it alone. We don't have the time or the money to hire these programmers. So he did the David Sterling thing, and he learned how to code in assembly by himself. Assembly is the hardest programming language out there. It's machine code. It's really hard to read, really hard to understand. But he did it on his own. He said
kudos to him for that.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, it was something, all right. It explains a lot of glitches. But he says that he had a real programmer as an advisor. But it's also rumored, John Choi told me that Sterling made changes to the game that he didn't document, which I'm not sure if I believe or not. But John Choi doesn't talking to him just for the short amount of time that I did. He doesn't strike me as the kind of person to just lie about things like that. He's very humble. He's a very nice, polite guy. He was like, don't get me wrong, David's my friend, but I don't approve of things like that. And so yeah, it's just that's HD Remix right there. That's a lot of the beef with it.
Yeah. But other stories.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah, we got on a tangent there. But other stories from MWC. Rust Easy, the Bobby Lee fella we played with. The next day, on Friday, where they had a CVS 2 and stuff. I think actually it was on Saturday. There was a guy there named Bob Washington who's a pretty big shit talker. We played him in Third Strike.
He's a cool guy though.
Really?
Yeah. If you talk to him for.
He seemed kind of. He just shit talks when he plays fighting games, you know. But I guess somebody said he's free in CVS 2. I think they were referring to Rust Easy or something. Like, basically a money match went down between Bob Washington and Rust Easy, I'm pretty sure. Or Bob Washington bet on somebody and he lost, and even after losing, he still, like, got in the kid's face or whatever. Like, Rust Easy's only, like, 20, 21, I think, so he's not that old. And
he's pretty short, fat
he's
Asian.
pretty short dude, and yeah, this guy just gets really in his face and stuff. It was just funny, though, just to, I mean, they had to break it up. There wasn't any, nobody threw a punch or anything, but it's still pretty funny, like, the hype, and,
after Adam beat Martin, there was that he tried to get Justin in a money match.
Yeah, he tried to get Justin to money match me. And I actually asked, Justin's a very nice guy to talk to, and I asked him about it later. I'm like, hey, because I was like, Martin offered to put up the money. Like, he offered to put up the 25 for me, and I was like, win-win. If I lose, Martin loses money, and if I win, Martin loses money. So either way, like, I'm cool. And I just talked to Justin. He's like, nah, that was just Martin talking shit. Like, he wasn't serious. I was like, darn, like, I really wanted to play you because he didn't play any casuals for Street Fighter 4. Like, if I could have played it just in casuals, because they entered the 2v2 tournament, and him and Flo did random picks, and yeah, he still won with just random characters. Like, if they got Dan, he would still beat people with Dan. Like, he had a good everything in that game. So yeah, it's pretty impressive.
He's very good.
He's very, very good. And let's see, other stories. Other than that, it was just good times, just like chilling with everybody. The CVS 2 guys on the second floor on Saturday, their party got crashed by the cops. Everybody was drinking. It was funny. Like, I was just downstairs checking it out because I heard Street Fighter 4 was going down. So, and then we hung out with Keats on SRK.
Old school OG Ohioan, moved to Green Bay.
Yeah, and very nice guy, very fun to talk to.
Very nice, very funny. Lots of funny stories about old Ohio. And Josh Queen being the way that Josh Queen is.
and the UFGTs, the U faggots. We just noticed that last night. Like, Josh Queen was explaining to us about old Ohio and how, like, they had these things called Universal Fighting Game tournaments. Like, were they run out of his house or something?
They run out of several people's houses. Whoever had space available.
It was just like this was like the old school Ohio scene, I guess.
The OG Ohio scene.
And we just noticed that UFGT spells you faggot.
in like internet lingo slang.
Right, yeah.
You faggot.
I just couldn't get over that after we discovered that.
Keith was talking about Chris Rose, man. I guess the first year that Josh brought Chris to UFGT, he got like slaughtered and destroyed, and like people were like, who is this guy? He's terrible. And then the next year he came back and destroyed everyone, and did so for like the next 4 years.
Yeah, so
nobody could touch him.
There's a rags to riches story right there. Although Chris Rose he stopped wasting his time on WoW, but
I don't know what he wastes his time on.
We don't know what he wastes his time on now. We're hoping it's fighting games because
it might be Street Fighter 4.
If it is Street Fighter 4, then Ohio will have a very good player in Street Fighter 4 soon. So
nice.
I don't know what it is with that guy. He can just play anything.
Yeah, he can. So, but yeah,
which reminds me of another story where Amanda was talking trash about Chris Rose, saying that Matt and Richard from Hillsborough were going to beat him at Marvel, and that he wasn't that good. And I was just laughing the whole time because I've seen Chris Rose play. I've seen Matt and Richard play. Matt and Richard are very good. Don't get me wrong, but Chris Rose is very better. And oh god, it was just so funny. I was like,
he ran a streak in Marvel, and then he got off and ran a streak in 4.
Yeah, he ran like a 24 win streak in Marvel, and then like a 32 win streak in 4.
Wow. Yeah.
With everyone that was there, a lot of good players, and he's just like, whatever, I'm Chris Rose.
He doesn't say a word.
He doesn't even talk. He just sits and looks
blankly into space.
He looks content. That's what he looks content. He's just like, whatever. He looks
content. Yeah, and then let's see, and then he just spent the whole time like playing casuals with NKI and Damn Die and stuff. I stopped in their room, I got worked, but I was just having fun. We watched some pretty funny Virtual Fighter replays. Jesse Howard is a very good Virtual Fighter player.
Virtual Fighter 5, yeah, he's actually known for that more than he is Street Fighter now. I mean, he used to be known for Street Fighter back in the day as like the only good East player. Like, he was always talking about how good his Fei Long was back in the day, like back in 94, 93. And, there's videos of him playing Mike Watson from around that time. Like, he's a real OG. I actually had no idea who he was until...
Yeah, I had no idea who Wes and Jesse were.
Until they're actually
history
like the real OGs of Street Fighter right there.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Jesse Howard, though, really good at Virtual Fighter now. I guess he's really known for it. He's really good.
It was fun. We watched some replays, ate some pizza, chilled. And then, the trip back wasn't as rough. But we had Chicago, like, I don't see how you could live in Chicago with a car. Like, there's no way you can drive to work because the traffic is hours long. Like, it is mile for mile, bumper to bumper. I have no idea how you maintain your, like, composure in those how you just don't get out of your car and walk to work because you will probably get there faster if you walk to work. And, like, we were stuck in Chicago traffic. Coming out was easy, but we just saw, like, lines and lines of cars. So, I mean, if you have to live in the city, good luck. Because, yeah, I have no idea how people manage their sanity in that environment. But it was, other than that, we...
Oh, you wanna get into the whole Josiah thing?
No, I mean, I was just mad at my partner at the time because there was a lot of last-minute things that happened. He left the tournament venue for some reason. Basically, at some point during the day, I don't know when, but I would let them use my car because they would always fill it up with gas, and they would go somewhere and, like, get food, something. And I think he went back to the hotel room to get his stick, and on the way back, he met up with 2 girls, and Josiah meeting up with girls is always a bad thing, because that usually leads
This is while Third Strike, the tournament is going on.
Oh, okay.
No, this was before.
Oh, right before?
This was before. He met the girls before.
But it started.
He gets their number, and they start texting him, and he was supposed to meet up with them literally as the tournament started. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Like, why do you have your mind on something other than the tournament right now? Because believe me, if you go to a tournament, don't be thinking about anything else but what you're doing. Like, you should not have your mind other places. Like,
it's bad.
Turn off your cell phone. Don't have any contact.
I didn't bring my
outside
cell phone with me.
Yeah, so he was even more on top of it. But yeah, like, so apparently these girls show up, and I think it was after the tournament, but he had to give them a ride home. Like, he thought he was going to meet up with them in a hotel later or something. But no, they were 16 years old, so that ain't going to happen. I'm like, you are a fucking moron. Like, so we had to deal with that, and I think that affected his performance as well in the Third Strike team tournament, so I don't know if I'm going to be teaming with... If he can't get responsible, I don't know if I'm going to be teaming. Although I honestly feel like Dayton's Third Strike team is shitty.
I would honestly just team with Humbag at future events.
Yeah.
He's going to be at basically everything you go to.
Yeah, so. And me and James are pretty good friends. So
he's a really cool guy.
We meet each other like once every 3 months, but we talk a lot online. He's a really nice guy, so... Yeah, we're supposed to be partnered up at EVO, so I don't know if he's going to be using Yoon or Dudley, and I'm kind of falling off the Chun train. I'm starting to really go Urian, so yeah, I'm all about the chariot tackles.
I would maintain your Chun skills, though.
I hate Chun, man. I really hate it now. I hate using her.
She's boring as hell.
She is too boring for me to like that game. Like, Rufus for me is fun, like, but yeah. Urian's more fun.
I mean, all right.
And you know what? I was doing better. I beat Flo, in casuals.
He was playing Ken.
He was playing Ken, who's not his main, Chun's his main. But you know what? I beat a top name in the community, and I'll take it. Like, and I beat him with Urian. And I was beating more people with Urian there than I was Chun. So I feel like, for some reason, I just like that character better. I don't know. So
fair enough. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's your choice.
Hey.
I was just saying Chun might be a good backup someday.
Chun is a good backup. She's the best character in the game.
Exactly. That's what I was getting at.
Yeah, I know. I agree. But you know what? Even if old Sagat's the best character in ST, arguably, and you don't play him, you're not comfortable.
But I never did play him.
Yeah, but you're not but if you were to start picking him up...
You did take Chun seriously.
I took Chun seriously,
so you might as well keep her on the...
But the main reason I picked her was because she was the best character in the game. I didn't pick her because, oh, hey, this is cool. No, I just picked her because she was the best character at first.
Okay.
So
well, then if Urian's your style, go for it.
Yeah, he is, so... But, yeah, other than that, getting back home took a long time.
I picked up Ryu at first in ST, and then eventually realized DJ was more my thing.
There you go. So, yeah. But other than that, I recommend... I hope Midwest Championships has a better turnout next year, because this was one of the lower ones I heard. It was kind of disappointing. I hope there was a lot more players in 4. Pools went really quick, although it ran very quickly because they had 8. They did this right. Props to Dream TR for running the tournament correctly. He had, 8 setups. So, you've got 8 PS3s, 8 TVs ready to go. You run through the pools super fast.
Oh, yeah.
So, very, very smart on his part to have that many setups, and I agreed with that too. And they started it early, which was smart. It ended at 5 o'clock, so pretty much as Marvel started, Street Fighter 4 ended. So it's very good. Actually, it ended way earlier than that. So, but yeah. Other than that, yeah, you can definitely take away. I would definitely recommend going to majors because you can take away a lot, especially if you stay at the venue, at the hotel where other players are staying. You can really take away. It's like a social network, really. You can just...
Yeah, I would make sure to get a hotel that's really close to the venue because chances are you're gonna have some top players staying with you.
Yeah,
and they're really nice guys, at least East Coast guys and Midwest. I don't know about West Coast how open they are to playing casuals at hotels, but I'm sure they're just as open. They're open to playing casuals. They're open to telling you what you're doing wrong if you wanna actually ask and get better.
Yeah, they're very nice. they welcome all people to come in and play. You know,
most of them anyway.
Most of them. But
Bobby Lee.
Bobby Lee was nice. He was just a shit talker. But he was cool to me. Like,
He was alright, I guess.
He talked to me. So
he's like, I'll money match you in CVS 2 right now.
Yeah.
My house for your house.
I was like,
bitch, I don't have a house.
I don't have a house, and I suck at CVS 2. So.
And then he looked at me and he was like, "You want to play some CVS 2?" And I was like, "That shit would take like 3 hours, bro."
It would take 3 hours.
And he was like, "No, man, with me it would take like 6." And I was like, "What?"
He turtles.
He's like, "I turtle like a motherfucker."
He did.
I believe
him and Justin Wong tied in that game because they out-turtled each other.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's the game. So.
All right, Actionhank, Murderbydeath, thank you guys very much for coming on the podcast. I appreciate it. I think we had a lot of good stories.
Yep.
Good HD remix conversation. Very nice. We'll have to get a hold of you again, Adam, and talk some Third Strike and see where that's going.
It's dying, man.
Yeah.
It's really dying.
It's not just dying for you though. It's dying for the community.
It's dying for the community. Yeah, we're slowly burying it, but you know, hopefully it can get a few last breaths in, and we can enjoy it. You know, and if it just becomes a game that's I play in tournaments, I'll still play it casually because it's a fun game.
There you go.
Yep.
All right. Well, everyone, thanks for tuning in. Remember, you can go to www.powerupfighters.com, subscribe to our news feed and this podcast via iTunes. We're also still doing the Midwest Roundup, which I definitely need more people to get involved and have like the little biography.
I gotta send in.
Oh, is that your biography thing that you're doing? For
Yes,
like players?
yes. It's like a little encyclopedia of players. All you need is a picture, and then I've got the questionnaire. Actually, I have one right here, printed out. That you just fill out, and then I take a quick picture and put it on there, and everything.
I'm gonna get a haircut first.
I'll never see you again. All right, yeah. Thanks again, guys. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
It's been a good
Thank
show.
you.
And now for a little post-production interlude, or ending, however you want to call it. I would like to remind everyone that Seasons Beatings in Columbus, Ohio is fast approaching. It's in October, but if you want to get together money and start planning your trip, better to start now than wait until it's too late. You can find some more information about Seasons Beatings on SureYouCan.com in the Seasons Beatings thread. You can find your way to that thread very easily by going to www.powerupfighters.com and checking our tournament listings page. All of the tournaments in the Midwest region are organized by state and date, so you can very easily find Seasons Beatings right underneath Ohio. There's also a local tournament scene just now starting up, and I was part of initiating it, so I'm very excited. At Arcade Legends, if you've kept up with the news, you know that Arcade Legends is a brand new arcade in the tri-state area, Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana, etc. And they are very enthused about the fighting game community, to say the least, and they have agreed to start hosting ranking battles. And we're going to be doing Street Fighter 4, Blaze Blue, HD Remix, Super Smash Bros. Brawl, Guilty Gear. Of course, the list is subject to change. It just depends on popularity. But yeah, it's something I'm really excited about, and I hope to see a lot of people there. And you can also find the Arcade Legends Ranking Battles thread link right on the tournament listings page on PowerUpFighters.com. Thanks again for listening, and please remember to subscribe via RSS and iTunes. I will catch you guys later.